What's good? It's your boy Fanon. All right, man, we're going to talk about the welterweight division. We got a big fight in the welterweight division coming up in less than a month, less than 3 weeks. Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence Jr. for the IBF 147-pound championship. And there was an ominous message delivered by Errol Spence Jr.'s camp to Mikey Garcia's camp. Indirect warning. Hey, man, he's got to be smart and be intelligent about how long he's going to let this fight go. Pretty much letting these guys know ahead of time, man, look, if you're taking too bad of a beating, you got to stop the fight because your career might be over. There's a lot of damage you can take if you in that ring with Errol Spence Jr. and he's lighting off on you. Man, that could be some real serious trouble. And in a very direct way, Derek James lets him know that. Now, before I get into the rest of that, is definitely want to chop it about the welterweight division and what I think is the danger for Mikey Garcia in this fight. I want to welcome you back to the channel. If you are subscribed, thank you for subscribing. If you're not subscribed, hey, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon so you can get notified. And also, I hope you check us out on our live streams we have every Monday through Friday, right between 10:15 and 10:45 a.m. Central Standard Time. Now, I'm telling you, man, there's a good chance that the towel might get waved. The towel might get thrown out in this fight by Robert Garcia. And I've said this in another video before I caught wind of Derek James. By the way, Derek James is the trainer for Errol Spence Jr. I said this before, but I've also said this this is the third fight I think that I've said this in. The first fight that I said it in was Kell Brook. I said, look, man, and I did a video that this might ruin Kell Brook's career. Because the type of punishment that Errol Spence Jr. puts on people is not a one-punch knockouts. One-punch knockouts are scary. They're high, it's a big highlight reel, but a prolonged beating over 12 rounds can really do a lot of damage to your internal organs. It can do a lot of damage to your confidence. And, man, it might absolutely ruin your career. And so I said that before the Kell Brook fight. And what happens in the Kell Brook fight? Kell Brook, is fighting well. It looks like the fight is fair. All this, the fight is, relatively even. Some people had Kell Brook up, but as the fight continued to go on, you could just see that it was just a gradual deterioration of Kell Brook. Those body punches, those punches to the heart, to the middle of the chest, they really started to add up. And eventually, he broke him down. As soon as he started dropping his hands to cover himself up from that body, that straight right hand wound up finding home. Boop, pop goes the orbital bone, right? Pop goes the orbital bone. Then the next fight that I said that about was Lamont Peterson. And I literally predicted that Barry Hunter was going to stop that fight by throwing in the towel. Again, when somebody is beating you up, really beating you up over an extended amount of time, it can ruin you for the rest of your career. Somebody that was excellent at doing that was Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins wasn't the type of guy. He wasn't the type of guy who was going to lay you out with one shot. He's not the Deontay Wilder type of power where he just, he comes over the top, boom, you're knocked out. You wake up wondering what happens, right? Now, when somebody like Deontay Wilder hits you like that in the head, even though you are concussed and you may not want to take the rematch, a la one of my favorite heavyweights, you're not going to take sustained punishment to your body. Bernard Hopkins was the type of dude who really did rough you up, beat you up. And man, he's really changed the lives of a lot of fighters, man. The number one guy that never was really the same after fighting Bernard Hopkins, even though he won, was Jermaine Taylor. So now we have this fight with Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia is a guy that's 4 inches smaller. Is he listed at 5'6"? Errol Spence is listed at 5'9.5". I have suspicion that they're using the height at the top of Mikey Garcia's hairline, but it's a significant height disadvantage. It's a significant reach disadvantage. It's also a southpaw stance, and Mikey Garcia's body does not seem as if it is really built to take that type of punishment. Now he's bulking up. He's bulking up a lot. He went to, of course, we all know he went to Victor Conti and SNAC, and he's doing plenty sit-ups with kettlebells on his foot and all kind of stuff like that, in an attempt to put on some muscle, which would help him absorb some of the punishment that he's going to take from Errol Spence Jr. Now, one of the things that Blu-ray said to me, it's not to me, I'm sorry, I've never spoken to Blu-ray in my life, but I listened to him in his, in the interviews that he's done. I'm gonna subscribe to his channel. If you're not subscribed to Blu-ray Fitness, you can definitely check him out. He's got some stuff he does with Black Fight Fan TV also, but he talked about the fact that that muscle doesn't help you with pain tolerance. And just because you're more muscle don't mean you ain't going to feel it more. And if that slows him down at all, and putting on a lot of muscle typically does slow you down, especially if you don't put it on the right way, whatever the right way is. You can see that with Roy Jones Jr. I thought Roy Jones Jr., the bigger he got, the less the bigger Roy Jones Jr. got, the slower his reflexes were. And especially now when he fought somebody like John Ruiz up there at heavyweight, it didn't affect him as much because John Ruiz was just significantly slower. He wasn't really a big hitter, but it affected him and it slowed him down as his weight went up. It's very rare, and I think really only through some real funny business that you put on a ton of weight and your speed increases, right? And we'll see whether or not Mikey Garcia really had the time to do that, but still, it's not going to help him with the amount of punishment that his body's going to take. And I've never seen Mikey Garcia as somebody that is really going to stay on his toes, be able to stay on the outside, constantly move, shift left, right, confuse Errol Spence, and stay out, just stay away from him in that regard. Now, some things that Errol Spence Jr. said about people being able to see different things from him in this fight, out of him in this fight. And he said, I don't understand why, if Mikey just thinks that all I can do is walk forward and, just try to bull you, he'll find out something different in this fight. I'm kind of hoping that I guess y'all let up bad because I'm an Errol Spence Jr. fan. Let me put it this way. I don't think that he should have to do that. If he's made to adjust and do that, okay, adjust and do that. But if cutting off the ring, leading with that straight right jab, with that long reach, powering, left jabs to the body, left jab straight to the head, different types of jabs can get this dude. It can get you inside on him, and you can light him up to the body and try to bowl over him. I think that's more than likely what he's going to do. Now, Mikey Garcia said that Errol Spence Jr. is going to respect his power. I don't know, man. We'll see if he can respect his power. I haven't really seen. I've seen Robert Easter respected his power. That's at 135 pounds. He never was really able to hurt. He was never really able to hurt Adrian Bronner. And he was never really, I think he did knock down Sergey Lipinets, right? But those guys are significantly smaller. They're significantly smaller, significantly less rugged than Errol Spence Jr. is. So even if Errol Spence Jr. respects his power, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to stop him from coming in there. And it might not be a case where, he's not just really, really trying. Like, the issue for me is whether or not Mikey Garcia can really take the punishment. Now, this is one last thing I'm going to say, man, about this SNAC thing. Now, I personally am not. I've never accused of Mikey Garcia of being on performance enhancing drugs. I haven't. I was critical of him signing up with SNAC heading into a fight where he was going to be having to put on a lot of muscle, and because SNAC is, Victor Conte is what Victor Conte is. However, I'm not going to accuse him of that. However, if there was anything that allowed him to take more pain, that allowed him to take more shots, allowed him to take shots better, that could actually work to his detriment. So I think what Derrick James is saying is right. If Mikey Garcia is taking too much punishment, Robert Garcia, I'm sure, and his dad, they'll step in there and try to prevent him from really, really getting wrecked. Because, you can live and fight another day. He's got nothing to lose if he throws that towel in. So anyway, it is what it is. We'll see several weeks from now. It might be a big shocker. You never know. Mikey Garcia's a really good fighter, but we'll see. He's got a big, he's got a hurdle to overcome. And with that, I'm out. Peace.